As you know, the ancestor of modern humans is Homo sapiens. But if we turn back the clock, there weren't just people like us on Earth. Another kind of human once walked beside us, the Neanderthals. They were human, but their genes were different from those of Homo sapiens. Around 40,000 years ago, for a mix of reasons, Neanderthals went extinct. But here's the twist. Traces of these extinct Neanderthals are still inside your body. In fact, most of us carry about 1 to 2% of their DNA. So if their DNA remains within us, could we restore the Neanderthal genome? First, is that even technically possible? Scientists have already reconstructed the Neanderthal genome. In 2010, the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology extracted DNA fragments from a Neanderthal bone found in Siberia and assembled them like a puzzle. As a result, we now have a genetic map of their genome. That's a huge milestone. In theory, the blueprint to restore them is already in our hands. So, could we actually bring Neanderthals back? At least in theory, it might be possible. Here's how it could work. First, use gene editing to swap Neanderthal sequences into modern human stem cells, piece by piece, gradually creating cells that are closer to Neanderthal. Second, use those cells to form an embryo, then grow it in an artificial womb, or in theory, implant it into a human surrogate. But that's only the technical outline. To make this real, we face several serious hurdles. First hurdle, damaged Neanderthal DNA. After tens of thousands of years underground, their DNA is fragmented, altered, and contaminated. The genome map we have was built from damaged pieces, so turning it into a complete living strand of error-free DNA is still beyond our reach. That said, hard doesn't mean impossible. Ancient DNA reconstruction methods are advancing rapidly all over the world. Second hurdle, gene expression. DNA is the blueprint for life, but copying a blueprint doesn't automatically build a living being. Like a construction plan, you need the right sequence and timing. Which genes turn on, where, and for how long. We don't yet fully understand that pattern. Still, with rapid progress in AI, synthetic embryo models, and gene regulation tools, some scientists predict a future where humans can run the biological blueprint directly. Third hurdle, ethics. Even if it's technically possible, should we recreate an extinct kind of human? What rights would that being have? When curiosity turns life itself into an experiment, that's when we cross a line. In fact, some countries restrict or ban the cloning of humans or human-like beings. It means moral standards must always come before technology. So why keep studying this despite all the obstacles? For one reason, to understand who we are. Neanderthal research isn't just a resurrection experiment. They were far more human than most imagined. They made tools, used fire, and even painted on cave walls. To understand where humanity truly begins, we need to compare them with us, carefully and in detail. And it still matters today. Neanderthal genes continue to influence modern humans, affecting our immunity, skin traits, and even blood clotting. Resurrection is still a distant dream, but reconstruction is already real. Their DNA has been mapped, cellular studies have begun, and every year, AI and genetic technology push the boundaries further. If the day ever comes when a human from the past opens their eyes, what happens next?